like to review the midterm exam for the course. I do this rather than return the exams with comments because I find that really tedious writing comments when I can just sort of explain to you what I had in mind. And then if you have any difficulty or any questions, further questions about how I graded your exam, when you get your grade in the grade center, let me know. Number one, I've called one of the NSB's canons the heart and soul of engineering ethics. Which one? Why? Well, this is really just sort of a question about whether you're paying attention. It's the first canon. Engineers, et cetera, shall hold paramount that safety, health, and welfare of the public. It's definitely the first canon. It's the defining canon. Um, it's the canon that's unique to engineering ethics rather than other forms of professional ethics. And it's the fundamental thing, really. Um, you know, if there is a noble cause in engineering, then the safety of the public is that the welfare of the public, you might say, needs to be interpreted. But that's sort of what I had in mind. In 01-10, what would the engineer have to have done to ethically accept the trip? Just inform the employer, the company that is offering them the trip, that they've pretty much decided that they're not going to accept any offer from them and that they're going with somebody else. As long as there's full disclosure, then if they want to still give them the trip, they can go ahead. Number three, describe the nature of the professional client relationship as is it conceived by Sieghart. The most fundamental aspect of this relationship, according to Sieghart, is what he calls the gross disproportion or gross inequality of power. The professional is strong and the client is weak by definition. The professional has the knowledge and skills that the client needs, and um, that creates an inequality of power. Now, one could go on to say that Sieghart at least claims that what this means, because there's such a opportunity, danger of exploitation in such a disproportionate relationship, that the professional always has to act with altruism. And that's really the whole picture, I think. That is the inequality of power and the necessity of the professional to act always altruistically towards the client. Next question. What is Downey's criticism of Sieghart's idea of the noble cause? Well, of course, Downey criticizes Sieghart on different points, but as far as a noble cause, I think that it's clear that the criticism is that um, the noble cause is not exclusive to the professions, that pretty much any job could credibly claim to have a noble cause. He mentions travel agents, the noble cause of broadening our horizons, underwear manufacturers, the noble cause of comfort. But one could, say a cab driver, the noble cause of transportation, whatever it is. So Downey's criticism is that the noble cause is weak because you could say that any job has a noble cause. Next question. Explain the role of professional judgment in 79-2. That was the hardest question. It's professional judgment that allows the BER to say that everybody's on strong ethical ground, even though they're contradicting each other. And one engineer is accusing the others of doing an unsafe project. It's because of professional judgment. And professional judgment means coming to an assessment of the engineering of a situation, knowing that perhaps there are other credible, defensible, and contradictory judgments. So neither a party is wrong either technically or ethically, even though one party is criticizing the technical aspects of another, because it's possible to have two different judgments that are defensible and responsible in the same project. That's the importance of professional judgment. It's a subtle thing, but it's an incredibly important thing in the professions, the idea of professional judgment. Finally, explain the role of the idea of menace in Kipnis, Engineers Who Kill. The most straightforward answer to that is that it's the criterion that allows us to determine when someone has violated the first canon as a what does he call it, rule of conduct, something like that. That is, when you act as a menace, if an engineer acts in their engineering lives as a menace, then that's when we say that they violated the first canon. Because not only are they not promoting it, they're actively undermining it. So the general idea of menace gets specified into lowering the ambient levels of safety without providing public information. But it's that visceral sense of menace, exposing people to death, basically, that serves as the initial intuitive criterion for when the first canon has been violated, or something like that. Okay, so that's what I had in mind. Those are the kind of answers I had in mind. If you have any questions, if you want to see your exam, I'd be happy to get back to you. Otherwise, I'm not going to do that. So get in touch with me if you want to discuss this further.